So the last match for the All Blacks and the Wallabies of the Rugby Championship has just concluded. The All Blacks getting themselves the 20-point win, 33 points to 13, in a game that had quite a lot happen throughout the 80 minutes. There were ups, there were downs, there were certain players who stepped up and other players who maybe didn't quite do the same. But looking through at what happened throughout this contest, we saw quite a few tries, the first of which being scored by the Australians. Fraser McWright, he crossed the try line in the last game. He crossed it again in this contest. Now for Australia, that was actually their only try that they scored throughout this game. The other 6 points coming from penalties, but early on in the contest, the Australians, they were kicking for the corner. They were being aggressive, and throughout the first 10 minutes, New Zealand really didn't touch the ball. Australia having almost 100% of the territory up until around that 10-minute mark, where New Zealand started to fire back, and it didn't take them too long to score their first try. A great run up the middle from Wallace Satiti, getting the offload to Leonard Brown, and then Sevu Reece getting the reward out there on the wing. We also saw 2 tries from Caleb Clarke. We saw a try from Will Jordan, who looked very strong throughout this game at number 15, and then also the big man Tamaiti Williams, the other try scorer for New Zealand. Now the last try of Caleb Clarke came within that last 20-minute window where the All Blacks have been struggling to score any points, so that is a step in the right direction. The bench actually made a huge difference this game. Tamaiti Williams managing to score. Pasilio Tosi, that man is an absolute unit and will be a very handy option for them in the future. And then we also saw some decent moments from Cortez Aratama just to speed up the game a little bit more. Of course, it was TJ's last game on home soil, but he really didn't have the standout game that a lot of people wanted to see. Another player who I think didn't quite perform, it was another man with a milestone, Sam Cane. His 100th game, he still managed to help his side towards the victory though. He's had a long career for the ABs, probably still going to be playing in the November internationals, but the big question is, who will take that number 7 jersey after Sam Cane hangs up the boots? But for now, looking through at a few more of the stats for this contest, New Zealand having 612 metres carried throughout the game, Australia having 306. New Zealand beating 24 defenders and Australia matching them in that regard, 24 apiece. Both sides having some fantastic runs. I think for the Australians, one of the standouts in the back line was actually Dylan Peach, a man who was brought into the starting lineup rather than Marika Korombeti. He's got power and he's got pace to match. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do if he gets some more starting minutes. But in terms of this game, it was a grueling one. 171 tackles made by New Zealand, 181 made by the Australians. So both ending up getting exhausted as the match wore on. And in the end, New Zealand with the 20-point win. So they get themselves 5 points from this contest. Currently on the Rugby Championship table, they are sitting second. And it is all down to that game between Argentina and South Africa a little bit later on tonight to work out who will finish second and also who will finish first on the overall standings. But both of those sides have a chance of taking out the championship. The Springboks looking the favourite. But overall, it's been a very entertaining Rugby Championship. The question is, has New Zealand learned enough from these games to know exactly what they want to do throughout the November internationals? I don't think so. I think there's still a lot to be determined. Still young players who will make their way in. I think Anton Leonard-Brown at number 12 showed that if Barrett is injured for November, he is the perfect option to go into that 12 jersey. And I think the back three, even though every once in a while Reece can have a bit of a dodgy performance, I think that the back three in this contest, as well as that last game up against Australia, has almost confirmed itself heading into the November internationals. That is, of course, unless they want to give Amoni Narua that number 14 jersey. But nonetheless, this was just a very short review of the game. We've got another live stream just around the corner for the URC, as well as that game that I mentioned between South Africa and Argentina. So be sure to check that out as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.